My screen is blank. Yeah, take me up. Take me down the yeah. Go up. Yeah, it's okay. Now, up. No. Okay. You pass now. You pass. Go down. Secretariat, go down. Take me to page 12. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, smart. I wish I control this thing myself, but no. Now, since you have the lecture study pack, now when you do that, you divide by YP, 40 years at 8% and 2% tax at 40. What you have is 9.55. Then multiply it by 25,000. Now, a reasonable rent for the tenant is 20,398. We all know how we arrive at that one. We all know how we arrive at that one. Now, okay, I'm looking at the chart. Now, from the lessor's point of view, go up. Take me B. We are done with A. Take me to B. Secretariat, take me to B. Now, value of present interest from previous this thing is 287, 200. Deduct value of proposed reversion to what? Full rental value. That you have 23,850. Value of proposed term, you have 260, 350. Then you divide that by YP 40 years at 6.5%. You see, they've adjusted the interest now to reflect the freehold interest rate, for RICS at 6.5%. Now, reasonable rent for the leasee is 18,200. You see the difference is not much. When you take the average of 18 and 20,000, we have 19,490, say 19,500. So that is when a premium is not required, rather a rent is increased. That is the only steps you need to do. Take note of that. Please take note of that. Yes. Now, next question. Go to next question. Secretariat, take me to next question. Take me to next question. Next question, please. Okay. Please, are you with me? Class, are you with me? Are you with me? It's okay, it's okay. Are you with me? No, the 6.5 is not small. It's not small. I told you reason why they adopted 6. I told you even if you take 7, nobody will penalize you. That is valuation for you. That 6.5%, yeah, it's not small. Is to reflect the security in interest holding of a freeholder. That is the landlord. Yeah, that is why we do that. Now, look at the next question. A property used for a banking hall in a city center is held on a lease having 8 years on expired term. terms at 27,000 per annum. 27,000 per annum. The present rental value is 40,000 per annum. You see, the FRV is 40,000 per annum. Now, the lessee is willing to spend 100,000. Can you please pay attention to this question? Ross Ishaya Katong, you are not concentrating. Is that your baby there? Unmute yourself and answer me. Unmute yourself, Rose. Is that your baby or someone you are in the same class with? I can't hear you. Unmute yourself. Rose, Katong.
Yes, sir.
Is that your baby, your child, or your friend?
My friend.
You are all for the lectures?
Yes, sir.
No. Are you sure?
Very sure, sir.
All right. Unmute yourself and let's continue. I hope you're paying attention.
Very sure. Very well, sir.
I hope you are following, all of you.
Yes, sir. I'm following.
JD. Yusuf Abakar, are you with us? Yusuf Abakar, are you on? Yusuf Abakar. James, are you with us? So let's continue. Almost all of them, they are online now. I can see 49. We were 50 before. So Ahmed Yerima. Someone cannot hear us. Ajirola.
Well, you know that, sir. You are just go ahead.
No, someone is saying cannot hear me.
It's a personal thing. It's an internet issue. We are in order.
All right,
If
so
we
let's
put
continue.
everybody on, it will be noisy.
Yeah, so please pay attention to this particular question, all right? Pay attention to this. There is the lessee is willing to spend 100,000. That is hypothetically in the future. Are you get what I'm saying? That is money. You see, this is more like a premium in this question. This is more like a premium for improvement and alterations affecting only the interior of the building, which will increase the rental value by 16,000. Pay attention to this question. It will, after investing, the rent is a list. It's a list and it's having 8 years on expired term. This is surrender and renewal, but there's also premium. Pay attention to this. Now, I'm trying to analyze the question for you. Now, he has 8 years, the person has 8 years, whether DG James or Esther is having 8 years on expired terms. And the person is paying 27,000 right now. The present rental value, that is the FRV in the open market, is 40,000. Similar property goes for 40,000. Pay attention, per annum. So you see, when you determine your distance, you know what to do. Now the lessee is willing to spend 100,000 as improvement, as premium, listing very well. And after spending 100,000, it will add to the value, or rental value will go up by 16,000 naira per annum. Yes. Now, we have like 43,000 naira presently, but when you are adding to this thing, you have 56,000 as FRV. Take note of that. You will be seeing 56,000 in the question. Now, after you might have spent 100,000, the rent will go up by 16,000. So the FRV will be 56,000. You see, I'm taking my time to analyze this question for you. Now, on the condition that the lessor, that is the landlord, will accept a surrender of the present lease and grant a new lease for a term of 30 years. owe a premium, so spending 100,000, and the property goes up by 16,000 naira, yet the landlord is willing to take 25,000 naira per annum in the new covenant, which must enforce the carrying out of the improvement and the payment of reasonable premium. Advise the lessee. Now, can you hear? You are to advise the tenant of the appropriate premium to pay if the new rent is 25,000 per annum. Assume freehold yield, that is the ORIX yield of 8%. So I'm taking my time to analyze this question. Let's go to the solution. So Secretariat, my screen up. My screen up. That's the solution now. Now, from the tenant's point of view, now we have the proposed interest. Then we'll revert to FRV, which is 40,000. And we add value of the improved structure, 16,000. So we have our FRV, our full rental value at the proposed interest of the tenant is 56,000. Mark it very well. It's no longer 40,000 as in the question. That's why I took my time to be telling you that. Now, once you have that 56,000 naira and the head rent is 25,000 naira, that is proposed. You know, initially, present 8 years, he's paying 27,000. That's why I took time to analyze the question, because the solution goes along with the question. If you don't understand the question, you won't understand what we are doing here. Now, having said that, then you get your profit rate of the proposed interest, hypothetically, when the 100,000 is invested in the property, and the property, improved by 16, the rent has gone up by 16,000 naira, and you have the FRV hypothetically at 56,000 naira. Now the profit rent is 31,000 naira. Now we take up our YP. Can you see what we are saying? Now the YP, the leasehold rate now, the yield now, it's cumulative rate is 10%. Why is it 10%? Please, let it be interactive. Someone should tell me, why is it 10% here? Someone talk to me. Now you can unmute yourselves, all of you. Let me hear you. Why do we have 10% here? Unmute yourself, all of you. Someone answer me. Yeah, someone says it's a wasting. Now, yes, that's the technical term to book. You see, it's a leasehold, and this is uncertain because of the high insecurity. This is the future. So, Rose, Shayad, mute yourself, please. Someone has answered me.
Yes, okay, sir. Okay.
Rose, mute yourself.
No, why did my like my name?
Mute yourself.
Yes, I'm trying to do that.
It's easier. Check your system by the left. Yeah. Good. Now, that is that. Because this one, we are considering a longer period of lease, which is for 40 years. And hypothetically, is after now we are doing this thing, and it's a wasting asset, and it's a freehold it's not a freehold, it's a leaseholder, so it's a wasting asset. So you make it more secured by adjusting the yield, the ORIX yield. Now, If the person, I won't put 10%, but since he's putting 10%, it's okay. Since the free whole yield is 8%, why not make it 9%? Why not make it 9%? But since he's making it 10, it's not an issue, it's not a crime. Just how you perceive your security. Some people have sense of high sense of risk. Some are risk averse. Me, I will use 9. So that is that. That is that. So make sure you have reasons for doing anything. Yeah, you are right. All of you, you are right. I see your response. This one freehold is 8%. I can use 8 plus 1. Yeah, or 2. Yeah, you are right. It means you are with me, and all of you understand this simple principle. So that saves us. So you have 7.25. When you multiply, you have 224,750. And that is that. And that is that. So deduct expenditure on improvement. Our expenditure on improvement, since it's an expenses, we less our expenses. So we have 100 less from 224,750, which gives you 124,500, 124,750.
Yes.
My screen up. Now, let's go present interest. Present interest. Yeah, it's okay. Present interest. Now, if you look at the present interest, we said he has 8 years unexpired. So we use our YP 8%. These are the basic things you should understand. These are the basic things you should understand in surrender and renewal. To be surrender, you use the years. The lease will start commence after the expiration of the present. So since we say present, we'll take our 8%. So the rental value is 40,000 FRV. So now let's have someone, Alabi Akimi, mute yourself, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When you move like that, I feel you have something to say. So now we have FRV at the present, which is 40,000. Now you have rent paid, which is 27,000. When you less that, you have a profit rent of 13,000. So YP 8 years, and you all know why we have 8 years, not 40 years, not 30 years again. The 30 years is the hypothetical in the future, the new, while the unexpected time now we are doing present is 8 years. So this one, and he's still doing the one 30 years for 10% and the one present for 9%. If you do that, you should show me that you are still using, okay, that one is 30 years longer lease, there's rate, there's inflation, make it 10, and now I'm trying to make it 9. So you have reasons for doing a lot of things. You value with skills. Nobody will penalize you for doing this. But I'm trying to tell you the value, and these are the things we do. Now, 8 years at 10% and 2.5% tax default, so you have 3.444. Now, when you multiply, you have 44,720. Gain to the lessee, which is 80,000 naira. When you less the proposed minus the present, what that is 124 minus 750 from when you minus 80,000 and 30 from 124 750, you will get 80,030. That is the gain to the tenant. Let's go to the gain to the lessee. Okay, the lessee's point of view, that is lessee's point of view, that is the landlord. So take my screen up. Take my secretariat, take my screen up. It's okay. Now let's consider the landlord. If you look at his present interest for the last 8 years in the first lease before going for another 30 years for him to accept surrender. So we have a rent reserve of 27,000 and YP 8 years single this thing. You know why we are using single rate here is a freehold. Now there's no any single sinking fund to recoup his wasting asset as in the case of a tenant. No, we are looking at the freehold from the perspective of a freeholder, which is 8%, and the freehold rate, interest rate yield is 8%, and you have 5.75. Then when you multiply it by 27,000, you have 155,250. 250. Oh, okay. Reversion to full rental value, hypothetically, when you are renewing the lease for 30 years, we know it's 40,000, and when you invest 100,000, the rent will go up by 16,000 naira. So you add up that 16,000 naira to 40,000 naira, and that gives you your 56,000 naira, which is the full rental value in this case. That's why I have been taking my time to analyze the question for you. Yes, yes, yes. Now, good. You are with me. Now, so YP perp 9%, of course. YP perp at 9%. But my problem, you know why we are using YP perp at 9%? You all know. So since it's using 10% previously, we can't query that. Now, that is 11.11. When you multiply, you have 622,160. Cost, you deduct cost of improvement, which gives you 100,000, and you have 522,160. Now, since this thing, we are taking it in 30 years and considering the 8 years, so we discount that. PV, 8 years and 9%, 0.502. You multiply it by 5, you have 262, 120. 120. So when you add up 155, 250 plus 262, 124, you have 417, 374. So that's why we have this 417374. When you add up that 155, 250 plus 262, 124. Now, look at the proposed interest. Look at the proposed interest. Let me see. Aha. Why do we use YP perp? It's very simple now, you know. Anybody, if you ask in the group, they will tell you. You are taking a freehold now. You are taking a freehold now. You are taking off a freehold now. For the let's see, we didn't do that, but you are taking a freehold now. You are valuing the interest of the freeholder. So that's why you have YP perp. All right. Now, proposed interest. First 30 years, the landlord is willing to take 25,000 naira. So YP 30 years at 8%, the freehold interest, which is 11.26. When you multiply, you have 281,500. Take my screen up. Reversion to full rental value 56,000. YP deferred 30 years at 9%. That is 0.84. 0.84. When you multiply, you have 46,014 naira. So when you add up this thing, you have 322. Loss to the lessor, loss to the landlord is 88,000. Is 80 when you subtract 417,374 from 3. Well, I mean, when you subtract 328,540 from 714, 374, you have 88,834. That is the lessor's lost. In a situation where a fair rent is to be determined and not the payment of premium, the analysis will be as follows. Now, we are not looking at the premium. Now, we'll look at the rent now. Fair rent. So take my screen up. Take my screen up. Lessor's point of view. Yes, it's okay. Wow. So you have 56,000 there. Deduct annual equivalent of improvement cost. So present interest, profit rent, 13,000. YPATS at 10% of this, 3.44. You have 44,000. When you add up, you have 144,720. 144, 417. Sorry, 144, 720. So now divide YP30S by this. When you divide this one by this, you have this, multiply this. So appropriate rent for the new lease is 36,000. 36,000. 36,000. 36,039 naira. That is that. So when let's look at lessor's point of view. Take my screen up. Value of present interest as shown above, 417. This is just analysis where rent will be. Wow, it's okay. Where fair rent is to be determined. You've determined everything. You finish your calculation, but they are saying if not premium paid, but rent to be determined. That is what to do. This is the rent acceptable by the lessee, 36,000, and the lessor is 32,000, and you've seen how they've done it. Just the same process. Just the same process. So you have 36,000. No, take it up. Go up. We are done. We are done. Go up. Yes, go up. It's okay. So we are saying it's okay. We are saying in the valuation of the tenant, 36,000 naira will be required from him, while the tenant will be demanding to pay 32,000 from the lessor's point of view. So you see the difference is not much. So that is that as a valuer, so that you know one is giving money, one is benefiting from money. So there's concession. There's concession. And what adds value to the property of the landlord. So there's concession. That's what you should have at the back of your mind all the time. So let's go to valuation of varying income. We are done with surrender and renewal. As simple as that. Just understand what to do. Don't understand the appropriate YP to be used, to be adopted, and when to use it, and when to adjust the yield, and when not to adjust, and when you use PERP, and when to use dual rate. So when you know that, you don't have any problem. That's that. So someone is asking how we got profit rent. Profit rent is a rent now. The FRV, the rent paid minus the FRV, you get your profit rent. My screen, please. My screen. Yeah. Now that is how you get a profit rent. So let me attend to this before I go to. Oh, there's a coffee in. Who is telling us coffee? I'm here. Okay. I told you you're doing it from, you have to get going. Ajirola is saying there's curfew. Now, that is that. That is that. So, any question or we continue? We continue, and this will be the last topic today. This will be our last topic. Let me not just unpack you with so many things. So we have 4-hour lectures, valuation of varying income. Then we'll look at mortgage valuation next time. Mortgage valuation. Then we'll look at contemporary models in valuation. Contemporary models in our next class. So, any question, or I should round up before I take questions? Someone is asking, how is reversion applied to the sub point of view? Of course, there's FRV, there's present interest, and there's a proposed one. We say when he has only 8 years, he's receiving 27,000 naira. So when 100,000 is invested, the rent will go up, and he's willing to pay, accept 25,000 naira, while the FRV is 40,000 naira. And when you add 16,000, when the rent, the 100,000 is improved, the FRV will be 56. So you have to revert back the FRV. Of course, you have to. So that is that. Okay, let's take question after the lecture. So let's continue. Now, there are instances you have. That's why I said all the topics now covers leasehold valuation, nothing about freehold valuation. I wish we have freehold valuation. You enjoy it. That one is straightforward. Layer, hardcore, equivalent yield, and so but it's not in your syllabus, and it's not my responsibility to teach you now. I assume you know. So they are bringing all this leasehold valuation. They're supposed to balance the syllabus. You have freehold yielding income, you have freehold and freehold yielding income, leasehold yielding income, how you value them. So if you only know how to value this one, you don't know how to value freehold, what do you do? So that's my issue. That's my problem with the study part. So, and I'm not discrediting this thing, but I'm querying the syllabus. Now, you have instances, when they say varying income, you have in the same property, you have a lessee and you have a sub-lessee. You all know that. It's not new to you. You have a lessee, you have a sub-lessee. And sometimes you find out that you pay rent, and in consideration of maybe extension, or you want to surrender and renew, there'll be a different income. So definitely that might be, that might subsist in the same property, a varying income at the same time. So that's why sometimes you see a lessee is subleasing to someone. So there's a way you do the valuation, and that is what we want to consider. Take my screen up. That one you read to the theory. We go straight to the question. Take my screen up, Secretariat. Take my screen up. It's okay. So now you have this question, and number one thing I want you to understand, whenever you're going for exams or you're in the exams, all you need to do is to understand the questions, what the question requires. Once you understand what the questions require, you don't have issue. You don't have issue. So now, value a freehold property to be let for 15 years at 20,000 in the first 5 years, and subsequently an addition of 10,000 increment in rent is made in the review after every 5 years. So every 5 years, there will be what? Additional 10,000 on top of the initial 20,000 of a lease. So when you ask to do this valuation, you find out that from certain years to certain years, you have 20,000. From certain years to certain years, let's say 5 to 10, you have 20,000. 10 to 15, okay, the first 5 years, you have 20,000. The next 5 years, 5 to 10, you have 30,000. The next one, you have 40,000. And until when you revert back to the freeholder. So definitely there are stages of valuation in this case. And that is valuation of the varying income on the same property. Now, the first 5 years is there. That one you don't need any this thing. It's 20,000. So YP 5 years at 8%. You have 79,800. Now, second 5 years, which is the 10th year, isn't it? You have rent reserve of 30,000 because it's additional 10,000 from the question. 10,000 increment in rent is made in the review after every 5 years. That's what you need to understand in the question. Now, you have your time, YP 5 years at 9%. At 9%. At 9%. And you discount it to present, PV 5 years at 9%. But there's no point doing all of that. This YP 5 years, YP freehold, I told you earlier on, YP single rate at an appropriate rate is, and you multiply by PV at an appropriate rate, is the same thing as YP deferred. And someone asked for the formula of YP deferred. Sorry, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry, I'm back. Excuse me, sorry. Now, you have, is the same thing when you say that you can do it with your calculator. Sorry, let me see the, okay, that one is your chart. Now, now, I said your chart is blocking my, now, multiply, use your calculator to multiply YP 5 years at 9%, that is 3.89. By PV 1 year, that is 0.65. It's the same thing as 2.53. So there's no need doing that. You just say YP 5 years, YP deferred 5 years at 9% is the same thing. It's the same thing. So YP deferred is the same thing as YP single rate multiplied by PV, at an appropriate rate. It's the same thing. You've understood what I'm saying? Yeah? So if you understand, I can hear you. Unmute yourself and answer me. Okay. So it's okay. Now let's continue. My screen up, Secretariat, my screen up. Yes. Yes. So it's the same thing. Okay, when you look at that is YP deferred 5 years at 8% and 10% for 10 years, because that is the third 5 year the last 5 years. So you have that. Okay, you come to the third 5 years, the last 5 years, which is the 15 year. Now, rent reserve is 40,000 naira. Rent reserve is 40,000 naira. YP, if you like, you put YP deferred 5 years at 8%, at 10%, and 10 years. You have 1.46. That's why I say the same YP, 5 years, and PV. When you plan them, they will give you YP deferred. It's the same thing. So you have 58,000 there, 400. So reversion to perpetuity. Now, another, when it reverts after the 15 years, the interest will revert back to the owner. Now, rent reserve is 50,000. It's been reviewed. YP at 11 years is that. PV at 15 years, 11% is that. So YP perp is 1.8998. When you multiply, you have 94,000. So the capital value is 309,990. 309,90. So let's look at the next question. I've been explaining that now. I've been explaining. Follow this thing. I've been explaining that. This one is less secured. They are trying to show the level of security. From 9, 10, and even 11%. They are trying to show level of security. As you review the rent, you continue, it's making it less secured. You understand? It's making it less secured. That's why you have it there. So now, a shop facility has been led by Chief Okon on a full repairing and insuring lease, having 14 years on expired term. The rent reserve for the next 7 years is 20,000 per annum, after which he reviews a review of 25,000 per annum will be made for the remaining part of the term. The premises has immediately been sublet, which expires 2 days before the expiration of the head lease. The rent reserve for the first 7 years is 23,000 naira per annum, after which a rent of 30,000 per annum will be charged the sublease. The current rack rent is 35,000 per annum. Value the leasehold and subleasehold interest, assuming freehold to be 6%. Now, take my screen up, Secretariat. My screen up. My screen up. Take my screen up. My screen up. My screen is not up. Yeah. It's taking too much. It's okay. First 7 years. First 7 years, rent received is 23,000. And rent paid First 7 years, 23,000, and the rent paid is 20,000 from the question. So profit rent per annum is 3,000 naira. It's 3,000 naira. So YP, 7 years, you see, at 7%, 2.5, that is draw rate, and tax at 40. I've given you the formula. You have 3.44. So on that interest, you have 10,320. Then the second 7 years, rent received in the question, you see is 30,000 naira. Less rent paid is 25,000 naira from the question. Now, profit rent, you have 5,000 naira. Then YP 7 years at 8% and 2.5% tax at 40. It gives you 3.32. Then PV 7 years at 8%. It gives you 0.5835. YP 7 years deferred. When you look at it, of dual rate again, is 1.9372. So you have 9,686. So the capital value at that point is 20,006. 20,006. So sublease. Someone asked a question, or what I'm explaining is not on screen. It's on screen. It's on screen. You are not seeing. It's on screen. Now, take my screen up. Secretary, take my screen up. Take my screen up. It's okay. Ah. Yeah, taking it up. Yeah, taking it up. Yeah, taking it up. Now, sorry. Myself, I'm not seeing. Let me now. Where was I? Okay. Profit rent. No. Go down. You have it's okay. Profit rent is 5,000. YP 7 years. So it's the same thing as YP deferred 7 years at 8% and 2.5% tax at 40. So you have 1.9. When you multiply that, you have 9,686. So capital value at that point is, I said, is 20,006. So subleasehold interest, good. Subleasehold interest, that is B. Sorry, he has gone up. So first 7 years, rag rent is 35,000 naira. Less rent paid 20,000 naira. Profit rent is 15,000 naira. It's 15,000 naira. So YP 7 years, appropriate YP is 3.32. When you multiply, you have 49,800. The second 7 years, you have rent reserve 35,000 naira, less rent paid, which is 25,000 naira. profit rent per annum is 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira. So YP 7 years at that appropriate YP is 1.7613, and when you multiply that, you have 17,613. So the capital value at that point is 67,413. It's so clear and straightforward. Your problem is the YP and the adjustment for the rate. So that is the issue. Now, so you unmute yourself and let me hear you. We are done with that. We are done with that. So so unmute yourself. Let me understand what you are saying. I am done. Sorry, I'm done. I'm coming. Let me pick. So I'm done. Any question? Unmute yourself. Let me hear you talk. Unmute yourself and all of you talk if you have any question. YP deferred, I said, is the same thing when you have YP single rate and PV. It's the same thing as YP deferred for that, for appropriate years and the appropriate yield. It's the same thing. Take your valuation table or do the calculation, you see the same thing. They are giving you the 3 here. You're not supposed to reflect 3. If you use YP deferred, just leave it YP deferred. If you use YP and the PV, you leave it at YP at the PV.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, sir, this last calculation that we just did now, I don't just understand it.
What is it you don't understand?
Yes, that of the sublease.
So,
The So if you can just review it, at least can just like a recap of it. Thank you very much.
so happen? First, you see if pays 20,000 naira.
I can't see anything. No.
Likewise, me, I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Please, my question is this. Sir, can you hear me?
I'm with you.
Okay, sir. I said the question said the current rental value is 35,000, if I'm not mistaken, which is the FRV.
Will be charged sublease the current rack rent. Look at it.
Yes, sir. The
It's
current
35.
rack rent is 35,000. So now
Yes.
I was thinking, since the first question said that the rent for the first 7 years is 20,000, which will be reviewed to 25,000. Now, and the calculation we now did the 23,000 minus 20,000, just like that, because I was thinking we were going to use the FRV, which is the 35,000, which is the current rental value.
No, it's telling you the FRV of similar
Yes.
property is 35, but this is what the subleased is charging. The head lease
Yes.
pays, look at it,
Yes.
paid 20,000
20,000.
the
Yes,
first
sir.
7 years. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
While the rent reserve is 23,000, so the profit range is 3,000. So you do 20, 30, and 25, not 35 and 30 or 35 and 25.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
So do we stop here and continue next time?
Yes, sir.
Are we all on the line?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Are we all online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So do we stop and continue with mortgage valuation and contemporary valuation models?
Yes, sir.
That will be 2nd of November.
Yes, sir.
And that's 2 hours. Our last lecture is coming up on the 4th of November, which is 4 hours. So do we stop here? Any question? So can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Those of you writing in Kaduna, I'll meet in Kaduna Center.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I'm the chief invigilator there.
Okay.
So read hard. Read hard.
Okay, sir.
When you have your own WhatsApp group, right?
Yes. For
All right.
Kaduna Center?
No, all of you.
Yes, we have our WhatsApp group.
So that's all.
Yes, sir.
So if there's any issue, let me know.
No problem, sir. Thank you,
So
sir.
we'll meet on the 2nd of November. I'm giving this time. I feel I can continue, but I feel let me not load you too much, right?
Seriously, let's just
Yes.
digest this one, sir.
Go and digest this one and go through the calculations. Then we continue next time. Mortgage
No
valuation,
problem.
we have a long way to go. And those techniques, you just get the models. Read ahead of time.
Okay.
They may not ask you much questions on the techniques. Maybe they will just ask you to identify, maybe explain the variables. That is all.
Oh, that would be nice, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, you were mentioning something about the layer method. layer freehold interest valuation, layer what?
Should I be tomorrow?
Yeah, that is for freehold.
Okay.
Let me put that. I don't feel only discuss. Everybody.
So someone is asking for my number.
I think it's on the timetable.
Yeah, check the timetable. Well, let me. So you have it there. I send it to your chat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.